So we're going to be swapping out the front brake pads for these Rock Auto Specials. So let's get it up in the air and get the wheels off, and we'll get in there and have a look. So we're up in the air, and I've got to the point where I need to remove the two caliper bolts, which are a 3/8 hex, just there, and guess who's lost his 3/8 hex socket, so I have to go and get one. Tool aisle of B&Q. No 3/8 hex drive sockets. So I'm going to order one off Amazon, which will mean that I can't complete this today. It's going to be back on it tomorrow. And just to sum up, you know, how the day's going, if you have a look at the windscreen while we've been parked here at B&Q, yeah, that bird had some meal. So anyway, onto Amazon, a 3/8 hex socket, and we'll get it done. And it's a different day, and our socket, our 3/8 hex drive socket, has arrived from Amazon. That's it there. So £8. Look after your tools, folks. So we're back on this. So we're going to pop off this caliper. It's dead simple. It's the same as every single front wheel drive GM or Chevy vehicle built in the 80s and 90s. So we're going to take out that Allen bolt there. There's one at the bottom. We'll pop the caliper off and we'll have a look at the pads. You can probably see from the angle that you're looking at that the pads are pretty close to needing doing, although the squealer isn't quite touching the pad yet. So we'll pop that off. So these are the pads that we're going to be using. They're Ray Bestos ones, which have come from Rock Auto. Worked out quite cheap because I had them added onto an order that I was already doing. So it was cheaper than buying them from a British motor factors, although you can get them from British factors. They'll get them in for you within 24 hours usually. So the caliper's off. We've popped it up here on the top of the hub so that we don't put any stress on the flexi line there while we work on it. We're going to take these pads out, which do look like they need replacing, and we're going to wind or push back the piston while that pad's still in it, and we can use it to protect the piston and get it ready to change the pads over. Right, that's the caliper wound back. You just need to inspect it, just make sure that you've got no leaks and no splits in the caliper rubber seal, which we haven't. Seems to be all right. The slider pins here should slide like that, which they do, so we're quite lucky with this one. I'm going to take it apart and clean them and re-grease them anyway, but that works quite nicely. A bit different to the old Jeeps that we are used to working on. And greasing everything with ceramic brake grease, obviously making sure that we don't get it on the face of the braking surfaces, but where the pads move in the caliper, the sliders, and on the flanges where it mounts onto the wheel hub there, which is Chevy's brilliant tried and trusted design, GM's design, unlike the Jeep pads which sit on the flange and wear a notch in it. You don't get that with GM brakes, which is fantastic. So we'll get these popped out, service it and put it back together. These the caliper bolts and the sliders come out towards the disc side of the caliper, not out the back. So these are quite nice, but we'll be cleaning those up and giving them a little bit of a sand with very fine sandpaper and before we grease them and put them back in. Neat little thing about GM brakes, that there is a squealer. So once the pads get down to a point where that squealer touches the disc, it squeals, let you know that you need new pads. We're all done. New bolts are in. I've just torqued them up, although I didn't show you that. I think it's 24 foot-pounds. It's not a lot. It's just tight, and that's it. Having a look at the pads that I took out, this is the inboard pad, the pad that is nearest to the caliper piston. And although there is still probably 4 or 5 mil of friction material left, it started to degrade quite badly. I'm guessing that that's heat, but you can see there are some cracks and scores in the friction material there, which probably show that these weren't very good quality pads, or that they've been in a long time and they've started to break down due to age. I've had this vehicle for about 8 years. It doesn't get used massively often, but I've never changed the pads, the front pads in this. So there you go. Anyway, that's it. We're all done. Any questions, drop them down in the comment section and I'll answer them as quickly as I can. But that's that. Brake pad change on this is an all-wheel drive Astro, but it's the same as any front wheel drive Chevy from the 80s and 90s. Hope that helps. If it has, drop me a like or comment, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.